Hello and welcome to today's broadcast of Utah State women's basketball here on Aggie Radio and AggieRadio.com. Thanks for tuning in to today's game as the Utah State Aggies get set to take on the Wolfpack of Nevada. The Wolfpack coming off of a bye week, I should say a bye half week. Of course, that's how it works in the Mountain West. They haven't played in a full week though. Their last game coming last Saturday against Air Force, a game that they won 70-60. Back at it again today. Utah State coming off of a tough loss against Colorado State. That was out in Fort Collins, Colorado. We'll talk a little bit more about that game here in a minute. But Utah State looking to pick up their second Mountain West win of the season, and it's going to be tough to do so. This Nevada Wolfpack team is quite good. Surprisingly so. I think they've been one of the big surprises of the season here in the Mountain West Conference. The Wolfpack starting the year out were picked 10th in the conference. They finished 10th last season. They went just 5-13 in Mountain West play, just 11-19 overall on the season. So they finished 10th. They were picked 10th again, and they've really overexceeded that. 9-6 coming into this, 2-2 in the Mountain West play, and so Utah State has a tough test ahead of them. Should be a good one though. A lot of similarities between these two teams. In fact, Coach Finkbeiner, in talking to him, and we're going to hear an interview from him here in a few minutes, where he talks about this, compared this Nevada team to the Utah State team last season. Really low expectations. Really just overexceeding, just kind of surprising everyone throughout the entire season. A very young team, brought very few players back. So I think that we're going to see, and also I guess a brand new head coach, of course, not that Utah State had that last season, but I think we're going to see a pretty good game today, and I'm looking forward to it. This Utah State team, 1-4 in Mountain West play for the second consecutive season to start things out. You're also going to hear Coach Finkbeiner talk about that, but last season they started out 1-4. They wound up 8-8. So right about this point in the season is where things really turned around for them. They found some confidence. They beat a really good Boise team, beat a really good Colorado State team about this point of the season, and ended up salvaging it and really, coming out even at the end. Of course, they're looking to do the same again today, but easier said than done. Anyway, without any further ado, here's the interview from Coach Jerry Finkbeiner. All right, Coach. Thanks for the time as always. Against Colorado State, team kind of struggled for the first three quarters, and then it seems like at the end, I don't know if it was figuring out the Colorado State offense and what they were doing, or it seemed like, they made obviously a really big run, just about came right back in it. Was that one of those games that you feel like, you had a little bit more time and the team could have won, and what was it that clicked there at the end of the game for them?
That's a tough question, because it's kind of a answer we can probably ask every game out this whole season, is that we're right there having a chance to win and then just can't finish it. I don't know the exact answer to that, other than I think our girls played a lot harder in the third quarter on into the fourth, and that's what kind of a regrouping effect. And I don't know if anything was prettier, anything was really changed at halftime. It's just we challenged them at halftime that we just got to be a lot tougher than we're playing. Got to be a lot stronger, a lot more physical, a lot more focus physically. And I think that's an element we got. And then I was really disappointed because we caught up within three. I don't know, 13, 15-point deficit, caught to three with about 3.5, 4 minutes to go. Called a timeout. We had to have one good defensive possession, maybe a chance to tie it. But the very possession out of the timeout, we gave up baseline drive layup. And then the next two times down, we gave up 3-point shots. And so we went from a 3-point lead to 11-point lead in about a minute, 22 seconds. And basically the game is over. So we come up close, but we're almost kind of afraid to win, try not to lose type of attitude. And it will be nothing better, no better medicine than to win some games. And so we kind of get over that hump of probably a little bit of inconfidence, a little bit of unsureness, a little bit of that dynamic play-winning, play-changing type of plays that have to be done by individual players. We're just not getting that. So, that's been kind of the storyline of the season.
So obviously turnovers played a pretty big role in that game as well. It seemed like a lot of those, I mean, obviously Colorado State forced a few, but it seems like a lot of those were more unforced and just things that Utah State was doing wrong, rather than the other team was forcing. But what do you say to the team when that is the case, and how do you get that cleaned up?
Well, that's a good observation there too, because the first 3 quarters, first 5 minutes of each of the first 3 quarters, we turned the ball over 4 times. One quarter is the first 4 possessions of the first quarter. Second quarter is 4 out of 5 possessions we turned it over. Third quarter, we turned the ball over 4 out of 7 possessions. More than half the possessions that we had, we actually gave to our opponents, and that's almost impossible to beat anybody. And again, another similar storyline. In practice, the last 3 weeks, we've been running for turnovers. We've been penalizing for turnovers, just trying to make it a sting, try to make it hurt a little bit physically, to just as a reminder that turnovers just, especially the ones that are unforced, we just basically cough the ball up, make a bad pass, dribble goes off of a foot, those kind of things. They're careless, and I think sometimes they're just there's a focus situation, possibly a concentration situation. So it's something we, again, a similar storyline all season long. We're turning the ball over more than our opponents, and it's really hard to beat our opponents.
So the second straight season, it's a 1-4 start in conference play. Last season, obviously things turned around about now, and you ended up coming out even out of conference play. What was it that changed at that point of the season? And have you looked back at that with this team and talked about that at all and said, this is where we turned around at this point last year?
Yeah, we've tried to draw some comparisons without putting pressure out there, kind of like a do or die scenario, because it's really not at this point still. But you're right, we were 1-4 last year, and we had a couple of huge wins in that next couple of weeks. Boise State, Colorado State at home, leading teams in the conference at that time. In fact, Boise State beat us by 25 or 30 at their floor 2 or 3 weeks earlier. Turned around and beat them here. Colorado State beat us in the 20s, turned around and beat them here, both in the same week, and that was a huge momentum gatherer and confidence builder. So, we're 9-9 in conference last year. I like to almost kind of brag that it was the best team sport finish that the Aggies had in any sport last year, and finished right at 500. And we're looking this year to improve upon that. But our work's cut out for us this year in making that grade. But it's one game at a time, and it's 2 games at a time, and we just kind of roll some things over, and hopefully create some momentum on the win column.
So this Nevada team, they've been towards the bottom of the conference the last few seasons. They were picked 10th out of 11 this year before the season started, but they've really done a good job and have a winning record, and it seems like they've really turned a corner. What's this Nevada team doing, and what's made them so solid this year?
Well, I think a couple things. That they have the pieces. They're an athletic group. They're very scrappy. They guard 90 feet. You'll see them man to man the whole game probably on us. They have a new coach, new staff that injects enthusiasm. There's kind of a little bit of a honeymoon stage going on right now that they're capitalizing on. They're taking advantage of. The girls are, I'm sure, feeling really good about themselves. They have a winning record. So things are just kind of lined up for them right now, as they were to a certain degree for us last year. With last year's team we had, even though it was a returning staff, but as a whole group of new players. And so they have that going for them this year, kind of a little bit of the unknown playing to their favor. And they're a hard matchup for us. We saw them in Maui. They beat Montana State, who we lost to. They impressed us then, and they've impressed us since by watching tape. So this is everything we got cut out for us today. We look at it as a home game, and home teams should be favored, but I think it's just kind of an equal line right now, and it's up for grabs. And I think whatever team probably makes the least amount of turnovers has the best chance to win today.
Coach, thanks for the time. Good luck today.
Thanks, Jaden.
All right, so again, that's Coach Jerry Finkbeiner, the head coach of Utah State, talking a little bit about today's game and just where this team sits at this point in the season. You heard him highlight there that last season, of course, they started 1-4 in Mountain West play. This season, they're 1-4 in Mountain West play. Things really turned around for them later on in the season, and they're hoping for a similar turnaround here this season. It's going to be, again, you've got a tough challenge ahead of you if you're Utah State. This is a good Nevada team. Let's take a look at the Wolfpack and kind of what they've done this season. again, they're 9-6 coming into this, which is far above what anybody else would have expected. They haven't had a winning season since 2013. They last few seasons, bottom of the Mountain West, really struggled. You know, you've got a 6-win season in there, single-digit wins, several seasons. Last year, 11-19, 5-13 in conference play. And then this season, a very pleasant surprise. You heard Coach say that they beat Montana State, of course, the team that Utah State lost to. They beat them by about 13 points. That was out in Maui. It was part of that Maui Invitational. They beat Seattle. They beat Santa Clara. They beat Fresno State, a team that Utah State lost to by 1. That was a 90-73 win. And then they're coming off of a win against Air Force and then a bye. So they haven't played in a solid week, should have fresh legs, and be ready to come out as they're 2-2 in Mountain West play. The two losses, coming against New Mexico and Wyoming, both of those road losses to very good Mountain West teams. Only a 4-point loss to New Mexico, who has just been phenomenal all year. The good news for Utah State, Nevada, is just 1-3 on the road. They've played a lot of home games, very little travel so far for this season. They had a home game against UConn, the #1 team in the nation, the phenomenal UConn team that we all know so much about. Of course they lost that game, but that was 88-57. You know, it's hard to say that a 30-point loss is good, but against UConn, not the worst thing that could have happened there. Anyway, Utah State, as we're going to hear in a few minutes as we'll go over the starting lineups, going back with a pretty familiar starting lineup, kind of just getting back to their roots. I think we're going to see a lot of Utah State players see the court tonight. We're going to see a pretty deep team with a lot of rotation. But anyway, we're going to cut out for a quick break before we kick things off here. We'll have tip-off in a few minutes, as well as the starting lineups and a little bit more information about this Nevada team as we get set for tip-off. Utah State and Nevada women's hoops coming up here in just a moment on Aggie Radio and AggieRadio.com. Welcome on back to this broadcast of Utah State's Women's Hoops here on Aggie Radio and AggieRadio.com, and a special welcome in to those tuning in via Mountain West Network. I'm Jaden Johnson with all of today's action as Utah State gets set to tip off against the Nevada Wolfpack. Nevada coming into today's game 9-6, 2-2 in Mountain West play, while Utah State 3-13 on the season, 1-4 start to Mountain West play. They're just getting ready as we're hearing the starting lineups about to be announced. Nevada's starting lineup was just announced, so let's go ahead and go over that. It's a very familiar starting lineup for the Wolfpack, one that they've gone with quite a few times this season, especially as of late, so not really changing anything up. But we're going to start with number 1, the senior guard from Sacramento, California, Ashley Jones. Number 3, the senior forward from Los Lunas, New Mexico, Tage Zeller. Number 4, the senior guard from Turlock, California, Haley Bergman. Number 13, the senior guard from Daly City, California, T-Mo. And number 32, the junior forward from Antioch, California, A.J. Cephas. So you notice there, if you were paying attention, 4 seniors in that Nevada starting lineup, a lot of experience on this Nevada team, which has really contributed to their early season success. 4 out of the 5 starters, seniors. And the one that's not a junior, so a little bit opposite from Utah State. The Utah State starting lineup is going to go as follows. And number 1, the sophomore guard from Mount Martha, Australia, Eliza West. Number 3, the sophomore guard from Launceston, Australia, Olivia West. Number 5, the sophomore forward from Preston, Australia, Shannon Duffy. Number 22, the junior guard from Melbourne, Australia, Rachel Brewster. And number 44, the junior center from San Antonio, Texas, Deja Mason. So we're returning to that for Aussie starting lineup. We saw that a lot right at the beginning of the season. 4 Australians and then Deja. And so a lot of familiarity between these players. They've played a lot of minutes together. And we are off as Deja Mason wins the opening tip-off, and Utah State going to have the first possession offensively. So Eliza West in at point guard. Big thing to watch, her versus Timo, the phenomenal senior for Nevada. Duffy dishes it in and finds an open Mason in the lane, who turns around and puts one up to get Utah State on the board right away. 2-0 Utah State. And then back the other way, Olivia West steals it away from Timo, and Utah State going to have another possession early on. Nevada couldn't get it past the back court. Utah State came with a little bit of full court pressure, and a good job by Olivia to come away with it. Brewster works off a screen, steps inside the three-point line, and launches one in a hot start for Utah State as they are already up 4-0, just less than a minute in. And then Timo for Nevada brings it across midcourt. Olivia steps up, plants her feet, and draws a charge. And literally the perfect start for the Aggies. You could not ask for anything more than what they've done so far. West, just phenomenal in her return to the starting lineup. Doing a great job, and that was forcing a turnover. You talk about forcing a turnover. You plant your feet and draw a charge, and that's exactly what they did there. So Eliza, she's going to work off a screen, step over to the left side of the arc, pass it up top to Duffy. Duffy has it poked away by Cephas, but then able to regain her composure, grab it, pass it over to Olivia West on the left wing, and then Olivia, she tries to drive in, walks, and that's the first mistake of the game for Utah State. Up 4-0. They're going to turn it over, and back to Nevada we go. This Nevada team, a very high-tempo team. They're scoring about 69.5 points per game, allowing 68.5. So they like to push it. They like to create quick shots. They don't use a lot of the shot clock, and I think we're going to see that here today. So for Nevada, we're back at it. King passes it over to Jones, back up to King. King up top, gives it over to Bergman on the free throw line. Bergman going to work against Brewster, and she trips up, loses the ball out of bounds, and that is another turnover early on, the third of the game already for Nevada, just a minute and a half in. So with a 4-0 advantage, Utah State inbounds are getting some full court pressure. 3 Nevada players in the backcourt, but Eliza West able to bring it across. Eliza gets the screen from Deja up high, gets up to the elbow, and then is poked away, but she is able to hold on to it. Somehow falls right back to her. Works up, back around the other side of the basket, puts it up, too much on it, off the glass, and Nevada comes down with it. A.J. Cephas with the rebound. And then Nevada going to have another opportunity for the first points of the game. Jones works off a screen, then kicks it over to Bergman. Bergman into Zeller, then over to the corner. 3 is good from Camariah King. So 4-3 our score, 7:45 to go in the first quarter. And Eliza has another screen from Deja, this time over to Duffy, and then Duffy's pass intercepted as she tried to find Brewster in the post, but taken away by Nevada. Nevada coming back the other way, looking for the lead. King has it poked away. It's going to go out of bounds off of Eliza West, though. Good hustle play by Eliza to poke it. Unfortunately for the Aggies, though, going to go out of bounds off of Utah State. A substitution here is Shannon Duffy going to check out. Haley Bassett checks in. Bassett's seen a lot of minutes the last few games. Done a lot of starting as of late, but she's going to come off the bench today. Baseline inbound goes to Zeller. Then Zeller passes up to the free throw line. Jumper for Bergman. She can't hit. Then an offensive board put right back up by Teray Briggs. And I'm sorry, that's by Zeller. And Utah State sees their first deficit of the game as it's 5-4 Nevada now. 7:14 to go. The other way, though. Sumalong stops on the right wing. The passes back up to Briggs. Briggs back over to Sumalong. And then a screen. She's going to work into the paint, put it up with the lefty, and no good. Deja Mason with the board. Quick transition, though, as A long pass finds Brewster. Brewster can't lay it in, though, as Nevada recovered quickly on defense. Nevada going to try some transition offense of their own, and then Bergman goes up, block, but there was a foul before the block. That's going to go against Rachel Brewster. So Brewster trying to stop the transition bucket, picks up her first, and the first for Utah State. So for Nevada, Haley Bergman going to go to the free throw line and try to take the lead back for the Wolfpack. Just 4 of 12 from the free throw line this season, make that 5 of 13, though, as she's able to knock down the first. She has a better three-point percentage than she does a free throw percentage this season. You don't see that very often. 39% free throw three-point shooter, but shooting 5 of 13 from the line. That's pretty uncommon. The senior guard from Turlock, California, is perfect there. Hits them both and gives Nevada the lead back 7-6 with 5:55 to go. So Taylor Franson is checked in for Utah State, and she inbounds to Eliza West, who gets a little bit of forecourt pressure from Nevada, but then brings it across midcourt. Price also in for the Aggies. Liza, beautiful drive, gets it up with the lefty. That won't go, but offensive board by the freshman Franson. Franson trying to get back out of the post. She tries to pass it over to Price, and then it's stolen back away by Nevada. And that's just a freshman mistake there, but a good offensive board to give Utah State a second chance before the turnover. And then a foul called back the other way on Franson as she just reached in. So it's going to stay Nevada's way, inbound from the baseline. Right away goes to Camaria King on the left wing. And then another whistle blows. Not sure. I think this is on Bassett. Let's see the official signal. Yeah, that is going to go against Haley Bassett. Not sure if she was setting a screen or just reached in or what, but she will pick up her first and the third team foul for Utah State. Another baseline inbound, this time to Cephas, who puts it up and is short, or puts too much on it, and then Bassett comes down with the board. Emmy Harris also in for Utah State. A lot of young players out there on the court for the Aggies right now. Liza tries to drive in, kicks it over to Harris on the left wing. Harris works off a screen from Bassett and pass up to Franson, top of the arc. Franson hands it off to Price over on the right wing. Price steps up, kicks it over to the left for West. Liza brings it up top, 5 on the shot. She's got to hurry. Works off a screen from Bassett. She has to shoot. She shoots with 1 on the clock. 3 is good. Top of the arc. What a shot from Eliza West. And Utah State hops back out to the lead, 9-7. King, the sophomore from Seattle, in a point for Nevada right now. Brings it across. Left wing. Sumalong hands it back to King. Dumps it into Cephas. Cephas walked as she tried to back into the post. And that's going to be another Nevada. The 4th of the game for the Wolfpack. We're under 5 minutes, so that's a media timeout with 4:34 to go. Utah State leading 9-7. We'll cut out to a quick break, but thanks for tuning in to today's broadcast here on Aggie Radio, AggieRadio.com, and the Mountain West Network. Welcome on back to the Dee Glen Smith Spectrum. Utah State out to a hot start against Nevada, 9-7 halfway through the first quarter. Utah State shooting 4 of 8 from the field for 50%. Nevada 2 of 6, and Utah State doing a really good job early on against a solid Nevada team. Leading the way for Utah State so far, you've got 4 different players who have gotten on the board, but Olivia West with 3 points. To lead the way there. And then for Nevada, 3 different players on the board. King with 3 points. Utah State looking for their 2nd win of conference play. All time, these two teams have played quite a lot of games. 16 and 11 all time are the Aggies in this series. 9 and 4 in the series here in Logan. So Utah State certainly has the advantage there. They've won 5 straight as well in 11 of the last 14, trying to tack on to that. But this is a much better Nevada team than we've seen in past years. Back in, Utah State has it. Harris works off a screen and puts up a shot from just inside the three-point line, which is no good. And Nevada comes down with it. So Utah State's first possession out of the timeout. No good there. Zeller gets it in the post. Right block. Tries to go up, and it's tipped out of bounds. And so we'll stay Nevada's way. They're going to inbound from the baseline. King has it. King passes way up top to Cephas. Cephas back over to Mo, and then over to the right wing, Nevada. Jones back. Cephas on the free throw line. Works up to the left, and shot no good. Rebound fought for. Cephas and Franson both on the ground. Somehow Victoria Price comes away with it, brings it back across midcourt, then slows it down. And they're going to reset things here with a 9-7 lead. Liza works off a screen from Franson, gets up to the right elbow, then over to Price on the left wing. Franson, the screen from Bassett's going to get her open for a right-handed shot, no good. And then Bassett tried to come down with the board, had it, and then it was somehow knocked away. Back in transition, King shoots from the free throw line, and that's no good. Liza with the rebound. Quick transition, she passes off to Price. Price left and right, puts it up and knocks it down on the lay-in to extend that Utah State lead. Now up to 4, 11-7 is the score. 3:11 to go in the first. Jones on the right wing tries to pass it into Zeller, and no, the pass is just errant, goes right out of bounds. So Utah State forces another turnover there. It's going to be the 5th turnover for the Wolfpack, and Utah State will get it back up 11-7. Shannon Duffsey set to check in. She comes back in for Haley Bassett. Duffsey started the game, spent a couple minutes on the bench, and she's good to go. Bassett, a good few minutes spent in there, picked up a couple points and a rebound during her 4 minutes of play. So Franson, the freshman, getting some early playing time, still in. She inbounds it to Victoria Price, who's going to bring it across midcourt. Price with the crossover, then steps back up to the top, kicks it over to Franson, over to Duffsey. Duffsey hands it off to Gear. Gear seeing her first minutes as well. Works in, then kicks over to the right wing, finds Price. Price steps up a few steps, shoots, and jumper from 12 feet, no good. Rebound from Tage Zeller. Nevada steps back, brings it back up to midcourt. King working against Price. Passes over to Bergman. Bergman working off the screen from Briggs. Works left and right, gets up to the baseline, passes it back up top to Mo. Mo with 7 on the shot clock. Working against Gear. Good defense by Jesse Gear. Forces a poor shot, and Utah State with the rebound and another opportunity. Up 11-7. This Nevada team, again, likes to pressure, likes to put on a really quick offense, as we see Emmy Harris try to drive up to the left, puts up a long shot, and then back the other way. King's layup, no good. And Duffsey with the rebound. But a very high-tempo, fast-paced team. They don't shoot particularly well. They don't rebound particularly well. I mean, they're just good. They're average to good in those categories. Nothing entirely special about them in many categories, other than that they just know how to score, and they do it quickly. So Duffsey tries to drive in. She walks on her way into the lane. That's going to be a turnover from Utah State, the 4th turnover. Nevada's strength, certainly their backcourt. A lot of very strong point guards, a lot of good playmakers in that backcourt for Nevada. So a little bit of full court pressure from Jesse Gear. Timo brings it across for Nevada. She passes over to Sumalong. Sumalong driving up left side towards the baseline, and lay-in hits the side of the backboard. Lindsey Jensen comes down with the board. Jensen seeing her first minutes as well. Gear has it on the left wing. Gear has the screen from Mason, uses it, gets up to the left elbow, then passes it over, finds Duffsey. Duffsey back up to Gear. Gear over to the right wing. Price 3 is good. Nothing but net. Victoria Price feeling it, and she has kind of struggled from the three-point line this season. Just a couple three-pointers this whole year, but add another one onto that total. 14-7 Utah State lead. 46 seconds to go. Briggs, a wild shot as she kind of falls back into the paint, is good to bring the lead back to 5, 14-9, as Briggs picks up her first points. Price goes driving in. Beautiful weave around 3 Nevada players. Gets her open for a left side lay-in to extend that Utah State lead, and then a quick bucket in transition, no good from Briggs. I'm sorry, that was from Zeller. And then Sumalong able to corral in the rebound, pass it back up top to Mo. So Nevada second chance opportunity, 9 on the shot clock. And then a pass poked away. Victoria Price, 2-on-1 for Utah State. Gear back to Price. Price lays it in right side with 3 seconds to go. Utah State up 18-9. All smiles all around for Utah State. A lot of energy coming off the bench here at the end of the first quarter. And Utah State feeling good with an 18-9 advantage over the Nevada Wolfpack after 1 quarter. Great start for Utah State. Leading the way, Victoria Price with 9 points, 4 of 6 shooting, and a rebound. And that is a good sign for Utah State. We're going to cut out for a first quarter break, and we'll come back in just a moment with the second quarter here on Aggie Radio and AggieRadio.com. And welcome on back to the Spectrum. Great start for the Utah State women, up 18-9 over the Nevada Wolfpack. Phenomenal first quarter, especially from Victoria Price. Victoria Price came off the bench, played a total of 6 minutes, and picked up 9 points and a rebound in the first quarter. And she has certainly been the leader of this Utah State team early on in this game. Doing a great job for Nevada. 4 different players on the board. King, the leading scorer, with 3. So we're back at it. King brings it across midcourt. Nevada possession to start things off here in the second. King kicks it over to the left and finds Briggs. Briggs back over to the right side for Sumalong. Dumps it in. Nice pass into Zeller, but then a lot of pressure. I think Mason got her hand on it as the shot no good, but offensive board. Another opportunity. Third opportunity for Nevada, this time good. Bergman had a chance, then Zeller comes down with the board and winds up getting the points for Nevada. 18-11 now the score after that. So Eliza gives it up to Duffy. Duffy on the left wing, hands it back off to Gear. Gear 3, no good. Just a little too much on it. King with the rebound. King, 5'6", came away with that one. Then brings it back and resets it to Briggs. Briggs gets it into Zeller. Zeller back out to King. Back into Zeller. All around the arc we go. Nevada using a little bit more shot clock here than we've seen. Zeller over to the right wing. 3 from Bergman is good. Nevada out to a 5-0 run to start out this quarter. And just like that, the 9-point lead is down to just 4. 18-14 Utah State. Liza works off a screen, gets up to the free throw line for an open jumper. 15-footer, no good. And the rebound again from Kemariah King. Quickly in transition, Sumalong puts up a jumper, whistle blows. Not sure if it was on the shot or not, but it's going to be Eliza West who's called with it. And so Eliza picks up her first and the first of the quarter, and that will be on the shot, so it will be a couple free throws coming for the Wolfpack. So this is Janelle Sumalong, the freshman for Nevada. She's from Hanford, California, shooting just 1 of 2 from free throw line this season. Make that 2 of 3, just her second trip there. And she's got 1 more coming. So Gear checks out. Bassett checks in for Utah State. Mason checks out, and Olivia back in as well for the Aggies. Second shot for Sumalong coming. That one no good, and Bassett with the rebound. King giving Utah State a little bit of a hard time in the backcourt, but Eliza going to bring it across. 20 on the shot clock. 8:20 to go. Utah State leading 18-15. Bassett drives in. Strong move up. Puts it off the glass and in. And extends that lead back to 5 for the Aggies. King brings it back quickly, and then a foul called on Olivia, as Olivia just tripped her up a little bit. Tripped herself up, really. But contact called for there, and so we'll stay with Nevada. Second team foul for the Aggies. I believe that's just Olivia's first. Yeah, that's correct. First for Olivia. Inbound goes to Briggs. Briggs works up the baseline, then puts it up over Bassett. Bassett frustrated with that, but that's going to bring Nevada back within 3. 20-17, good quarter so far for the Wolfpack, outscoring Utah State 8-2 here in the second. Eliza gives it to Bassett. Bassett off the screen from Eliza, puts it up. Jumper is good, just inside the 3-point line. Make that 23-17. I thought that was inside. Scoreboard says 23. My stat sheet says 22, so I'm not sure which to go with. I'm pretty sure that was a 2, though. We'll say 22-17. But Utah State gives it back, and Nevada over in the left corner. King passes it up, finds Toby. Toby back over to the right wing for Bergman. Bergman going to drive in. Lefty, no good. Too much on it. And Duffsey with the board. They changed the scoreboard, so now it is officially 22. And then Jensen in transition goes for the lay-in. Can't get it to go. Missed opportunity for the Aggies there to extend the lead. Briggs, strong pass inside to Cephas. Just a little bit too much. Cephas can't hold on to it, and that's going to go out of bounds. The 7th turnover for the Wolfpack today. Actually, I'm sorry, make that the 8th. 22-17, the Utah State lead, 7:05 to go in the second. Price, the leading scorer with 9 points, still sitting on the bench, hasn't seen action here in the second quarter. Utah State being outscored 8-4 in the second. Liza gets it into Duffsey. Duffsey over to Olivia. Almost poked away, but Olivia maintains possession, then back up to Eliza over to left wing now for Brewster. Brewster screen from Bassett, uses it, then passes over. Left corner 3 from Duffsey, no good. Hits rim and clinks off for a rebound from Morning Rose Toby. Mo back up top. Finds Dearth. Dearth over to the right wing. Bergman working in, passes to Zeller. Zeller puts it up. Lay in, no good. Utah State with the board. Liza in transition, goes quickly, pushes, hands it back to Duffsey. Duffsey spins around, lefty is good off the glass, and nice little move from Shannon Duffsey there to pick up her first points of the night. 4 rebounds, 2 points for the sophomore. King passes elbow, finds Zeller. Zeller guarded by Bassett. Passes it back to Berg. 3, in and out, no good. May have been inside the line, I'm not sure, didn't see her. So Liza gonna let it bounce before picking it up, bringing it across midcourt. Liza with 3 points for Utah State. Passes over, right wing 3 from Rachel Brewster is good. Rachel Brewster starting to find her stroke this season, and that is a very good sign for the Aggies. Back in transition though, Sumalong tries to get her own, no good. Briggs with the offensive board. Back up to King. Timo from the left wing. 3, no good. And Brewster with the rebound. Utah State going to try and push it back. 2-on-2. Olivia driving in. Utah State's leading scorer puts it up. It's going to be waved off though. Offensive foul. That was a little bit ticky-tack. And Utah State though going to pick up an offensive foul on Olivia West. So the bucket will not count. 26-17, the Utah State lead as a timeout is called for the media. 26-17 as we head to a break. We'll come back in just a moment with the remainder of the second quarter here at the Spectrum. right, halfway through the second quarter, Utah State leading the Nevada Wolfpack 26-17 as we get ready to come back out. Nevada ball as we get started. Utah State getting a little bit of production from Rachel Brewster here today and in the last game. Rachel with 4 points, a couple of rebounds, but that's a good sign for the Aggies. Brewster really struggled early on in the season, but she's coming off a 9-point, 4 rebound, 4 assist, 3 steal game against UNLV, then a 14-point, 7 rebound game against Colorado State. That's going to be a key to Utah State finding some consistency here. Nevada inbounds, brings it across midcourt, and Sumalong knocks it down from a right wing jumper from about 15 feet to bring Nevada back to 26-19. Good possession right out of the timeout there for the Wolfpack. Brewster on the right wing, passes it back up top to Eliza, 15 on the shot clock. Eliza goes, steps up to the three-point line, passes over to Olivia. Olivia going to drive in, kick it over to the right corner. Duffy for 3 is good. And Shannon Duffy now with 5 points after that. 4 rebounds, 5 points for the sophomore. And then Timo almost has the ball stolen away by Eliza. She's going to drive in. Then Eliza, great defense that entire possession. Made a really tough shot for Timo. Comes down with the board. Passes over Brewster in the left corner, drives up the baseline. I'm sorry, Duffy. And then travels as she tries to get to the hoop. So a turnover there. But great defensive Utah State there. Followed by a turnover, of course. 9 turnovers for Nevada, 6 for Utah State. Aggies shooting 50% though, 13 of 26. Great shooting night so far for Utah State, holding Nevada to just 28. Be surprised if we don't see Utah State attempt a few more three-pointers here. They're 3 of 7, but Nevada is the last team in the entire nation, 349th out of 349 teams in three-point defense. They allow their opponents to shoot 39.7% from the line. Driving up the baseline is Briggs. Briggs puts it up from the other side. Lane won't go. Offensive board by Nevada, and then Utah State comes down after the putback. So scoreless possession there from the Wolfpack. Utah State up by 10, 29-19. We got 3:10 to go here in the half. Liza working against King. Passes over to Duffy. Duffy left wing, hands it back to Price. Price pass into Bassett. What a pass. How did she find her? Bassett laying, won't go, but grabs her own board and puts it right back. Haley Bassett puts Utah State up by 12. King finds Bergman on the left wing, and then Bergman tries to pass it over to the right corner, and it's tipped out of bounds by Eliza. Good defensive possession there, but will stay again with Nevada. Looks like Deja Mason set to check in as Haley Bassett going to check out. Bassett with 8 points, 3 rebounds. Great night for the sophomore. She's going to see a little bit of time on the bench, though. Inbound goes to King for Nevada. King walks over to the left wing, hands it back to Sumalong. Sumalong up to Bergman up top. Bergman going to drive in and blocked by Deja Mason. The Mountain West leading blocker comes down with another. Utah State back in transition. Drives up to the left side, guarded tightly by King. Passes over to Deja on the right block and then is stolen away. Good job by Nevada there. Bergman comes away with it. Bergman driving back the other way. Passes off to Cephas, who lays it in on the right block. And Nevada closes it back up to a 10-point deficit, 31-21. We got 2:10 to play in the second quarter. That was a good defensive possession by Nevada and then a good transition opportunity to create a couple points. Liza passes over to Olivia on the left wing. Olivia back up top. 10 on the shot clock for Eliza West. She passes back over to Price on the right wing. We got 3 guards in there for Utah State. And then a foul called on Haley Bergman as she just got a little bit of the arm from Victoria Price. The most costly thing there for Nevada is it's going to reset the shot clock. It's only their second team foul, so no danger there. But it does reset the shot clock back up to 30 when it was down to about 8 or 9 before the foul. Emmy Harris is checked back in for the Aggies in place of Eliza West. And so she inbounds into the backcourt to Price. Price going to bring it across. Fresh shot clock. Working against King. She passes it over to Duffy. Duffy hands it back to Price. Now up top, Duffy tries to pass it into Mason. It's stolen away. Great job deflecting it out by Briggs. And Nevada comes away with the steal and another Utah State turnover. 8th of the game. Now on the right wing, Bergman puts it up for 3. No good. Price tips it to Mason for the rebound. Hands it back to Price, and they're going to bring it back across. 10-point lead for Utah State, 31-21. We got 1:17 to go in the second quarter. Price brings it up, then pass it back to Olivia. Olivia way back by half court on the logo, steps up to the three-point line, thought about a three, kicks it back over to Harris. Harris over to Price on the right wing, 10 on the shot clock. Price gonna get in up to the right elbow, pass it back up top to Harris. Harris wide open three, top of the arc, no good. And the rebound by Teray Briggs. Back the other way, Nevada back up top. Briggs steps up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different players have scored for the Wolfpack with more than 5 points. But Haley Bergman leading the way with 5 points, just 1 of 8 shooting though, and 2 rebounds and an assist for Bergman. Briggs with 4 points, 4 rebounds. Cephas has 5 boards and a couple of points, and Zeller with 4 and 4 as well. Utah State shot 48% in the first half, 15 of 31 from the field, and 3 of 9 from the three-point line. Nevada 24%. That's the biggest difference. I mean, obviously, Nevada shot they made just 1 of their last 9 shots, none of their last 4, didn't score for the last 2.5 minutes of the half. Rebounding 21 apiece, and so really pretty evenly matched teams. Pretty good game so far. Utah State just taking advantage of every shot they're given. Anyway, we're going to cut out for our halftime break. Thanks for tuning in, though, to today's game and our broadcast of Utah State Women's Hoops here on Aggie Radio, AggieRadio.com, and the Mountain West Network. At halftime, Utah State leads Nevada 33-21. We'll be back in a few minutes with the second half action. halftime. Great start for Utah State. Aggies shot 48% in the first half, led by 9 points from Victoria Price, 8 from Haley Bassett, and 7 from Shannon Duffy. Great start for the Aggies. Led for 18 minutes of the first half. Really, from the get-go, it's been Utah State's game. They've been in control, though a big part of that is poor shooting from Nevada. Nevada shooting just 24% in the first half. And if you're Utah State, I think you've got to be really careful about getting comfortable. You don't want to get comfortable in this situation because you know that these Nevada shooting numbers are going to come up at some point. Against Air Force, Nevada shot 52% from the field. They shot 70% from the three-point line, 7 of 10. It's not a poor shooting Nevada team by any means. Those numbers are going to come up. And so if you're Utah State, you got to be wary and watch out for that. But just keep doing what you're doing if you're the Aggies. They played very well the entire first half. Utah State coming off of a tough loss, really tough loss against Colorado State. The team really played quite flat. They turned the ball over 18 times in that game, only forced 9. But the thing is, they won the rebounding battle 34-30. They won the shooting percentage battle 36-35. They played, pretty well as a team. They distributed the ball well. Rachel Brewster had a phenomenal night, 14 points on 6 of 8 shooting, 7 rebounds. But they lost 56-45 just because of all those turnovers. So, of course, a big emphasis for Utah State since that game has been working on not turning over the ball so much. Hasn't exactly been the case, as they already have 9 at halftime. But the difference between that and this, they forced 9 as well. So, again, good shooting percentage for Utah State in the first half. Doing a good job forcing turnovers. The rebounding battles dead even, 21 apiece. Getting a lot of, especially defensive rebounds. Aggies have 19 defensive rebounds, only a couple are offensive, but they need to keep Nevada off the boards in the second half, especially the offensive board. For the Wolfpack, not a player on the roster with more than 5 points so far, though it's pretty evenly spread. Bergman has 5. And again, Nevada shooting just 8 of 33 in the first half, 24%. All time, Utah State, I read this number off earlier, but Utah State leads the all-time series 16-11. It's 9-4 in Logan. And Nevada this season just 1-3 on the road. So a lot of numbers playing in Utah State's favor as they come out to start at the second half. But what we've seen a lot of times this season is really flat, kind of poor play in the coming out of the locker room to start out the second half for the Aggies. Should be a big key to the game. If they can come out, get some early points, make some big stops early on in the second half, I think that's going to be a very big key and a very good sign for the Aggies. This Nevada team, a lot of experience on the team, a lot of seniors. I mentioned they started 4 seniors in their starting lineup and a junior. So all upperclassmen to start things off. Much of their production tonight has come from upperclassmen. And that's, I think, been a big contributor to why they've done so well this season, off to a 9-6 overall record. They returned 3 starters from last season. But again, this is a Nevada team that hasn't had a winning season since the 2013-14 season. They've had a lot of single win, just kind of struggle throughout the season kind of years. But it's good to see this Nevada program turn the corner and have what seems to be a good up-and-coming team with a brand new head coach, Amanda Levins, her first season as a coach at Nevada, and doing just a phenomenal job as the head coach there so far. It was interesting talking to Coach Finkbeiner before the game for those listening on AggieRadio.com and Aggie Radio that heard the interview from Coach Finkbeiner as he talked about this Nevada program and the corner that they've turned and how they're much like the Utah State team last season. Anyway, we're back in. Utah State leading 33-21, and the Aggies have the ball to start out the second half. Aggies starting lineup back out on the court, the 4 Australians plus Deja Mason. So 12 seconds on the shot clock as Eliza gets up to the free throw line, then kicks it over to the left wing for Duffy. West works up, shoots from the right elbow, no good. I need to correct myself, as it looks like Brewster actually not on the court and Emmy Harris out to start out the second half, though Brewster did start the game. So for Nevada, Zeller gets it on the baseline, works up, back to the other side, tries to put it up, doesn't go, but grabs her own rebound and then goes back up, and a foul called on Deja Mason going for the block. Got a little bit of wrist there, and so it's going to send Nevada to the free throw line for a couple of shots. Tage Zeller, senior forward for Nevada, going to have a couple of shots. Zeller, a 75% free throw shooter. She's 39th in the nation in field goal percentage, shooting 56% this season. Misses the first free throw, and she'll have one more. She's a 3-year starter for the Wolfpack, averaging team-leading 13.7 points per game, team-leading 7.9 rebounds per game. That's 4th in the conference, and she knocks down the second. So make that 33-22 Utah State lead. Got 9:08 to go here in the second quarter. Liza works off a screen from Mason, throws a wild pass back out to Duffy. Utah State lucky to hold on to it there. Duffy on the left wing, back up top to Olivia. 13 on the shot clock. Olivia thought about a three, instead tries to pass it in, and a foul called under the hoop as she tried to get it to Duffy, and did, but King was there reaching in. So King picks up her first, and that's going to be Utah State inbound from the baseline. Olivia looking around, eventually finds Mason up top. Mason against Zeller, dumps it in, and gets it to Duffy, and then a jump ball called. Good job by Nevada. I believe that was Cephas reaching in there and forcing the jump. So it's going to go back to Nevada as the possession arrow points their way. King at point right now for Nevada, brings it across midcourt. She's guarded by Olivia. Pass over to Sumalong. Sumalong dumps it into Zeller. And Zeller goes up for the shot. Deja thought she had a clean block. Whistle blows, though. Contact is called for, so that's going to send Nevada back to the free throw line. Zeller, another trip there, her second of the half in just a minute and a half. Went 1 of 2 on her first trip. Senior from Los Lunas, New Mexico, going to have a couple more. First shot in and out, no good for Zeller. She is a 75% shooter. Just 1 of her last 3 from the free throw line. 1 more coming. Zeller with 5 points, 5 rebounds for the Wolfpack, 2 assists as well. And she knocks down the second. So the 12-point lead cut down to 10. 33-23 for Utah State. Liza on the right wing, gets a screen from Mason, works off it, gets up into the lane, left and right, lay-in too strong, and Nevada with the board. Sumalong came down with it, then brings it back over across midcourt, pass over to King on the left side. King up top, finds Zeller. Zeller was open for a 3, instead steps up, gets her way into the paint, spins around, beautiful move, gets her a shot, but that's no good. Fighting for the board, somehow Olivia West comes away with it. 2-on-1, Emmy Harris lays it in left side, the freshman on the board, and Utah State extends that lead up to 12. Emmy Harris with her first bucket of the night. Has played 8 minutes for the Aggies. Cephas passes over to the left wing for Sumalong. Sumalong back up top over to King. King guarded by Olivia, 9 on the shot clock. Much slower pace this half for Nevada. Right wing pass into Cephas, gets her a nice lane to lay it in off the glass. And a really nice offensive possession there for Nevada. 35-25 the score. Utah State, 7:16 to go. Duffy, nice strong pass over to Mason, gets her open for a lay-in, and Deja Mason brings that lead back up to 12. Back and forth we go. Olivia deflected the dribble from King, but goes right back to Nevada. King able to maintain possession, and then almost backcourt violation forced as Cephas lost control. I don't know how they kept it in the front court. Corner 3 from Cephas, no good. Offensive board, though, by Haley Bergman. And then they're going to reset it back out up top to Sumalong over to King. Back up top to Sumalong. 4 on the shot clock. Sumalong gets up to the free throw line. Wild shot. No good. And the rebound tipped around, fought for, out of bounds, off of Nevada. 8 offensive rebounds for the Wolfpack to Utah State's 2. That's been a big difference maker for Nevada in keeping themselves in this. Getting a lot of second chance, third chance opportunities. Not doing the greatest job of taking advantage of them, though. 8 offensive rebounds and only 5 second chance points for the Wolfpack. So with a 12-point lead, Eliza passes over to Duffy on the left wing, over to Olivia. Olivia works off a screen, gets into the paint. It's poked away. Good job by Mo to get that away. And then 2-on-2 break for Nevada. Bassett with a block. What a swat there by Haley Bassett. She gives a flex towards the bench and stops the transition opportunity for the Wolfpack. Will stay in Nevada possession, though. They're going to inbound from the baseline. King gets it in over to the right corner for Bergman. Duffs the top of the arc over to Brewster. Right wing three. Good, but the whistle blows. I think that's going to count. Not sure if it was on the shot or what exactly the call was. I saw a player hit the floor. I didn't see the foul, but that is the three is going to stand from Rachel Brewster, first and foremost. Foul goes on T-Mo. Got a push, and Nevada arguing that she didn't shoot it before the foul was called. Right now the scoreboard shows 40-27. The official has adamantly stated that that will stand as a bucket for Utah State. And as it appears, Utah State will be inbounding from the baseline. So Olivia inbounds from the baseline into Bassett. Bassett, strong move up. Ball rolled around, and Utah State lead up to 15. 42-27, Utah State. Back the other way. Zeller kicks it out up top to King. Kings takes a step back, passes over to Briggs. Briggs up top, plows into Bassett, who draws the charge. Offensive foul, and Utah State going to get it back. Another turnover by Nevada, their 10th. It's the 4th team foul for the Wolfpack, less than halfway into the quarter. So already early foul trouble. Utah State has 3 of their own. Inbound poked away by King. Goes back to Briggs, who puts up a shot. That's no good. An offensive board, though, by King. She is playing with some serious aggression and energy here. Utah State tried to inbound it. King was there to steal it away right on the inbound pass after the bucket, and she's creating another opportunity for Nevada. Zeller shoots a left-handed hook shot from the baseline and knocks it down. Those points courtesy of Camariah King. So we got 4:42 to go. Utah State with a 42-29 lead. Victoria Price at point, passes over to Brewster on the left wing. Brewster guarded by Bergman. Has a screen from Bassett, doesn't use it. Instead steps back, hands it back to Price. Price with 8 on the shot clock. Working against King, gets a screen. Goes over, passes over, right wing 3 from Olivia. Is good, 3-pointer. Make that 45-29. Olivia West feeling it. 4:13 to go. Left corner, Mo tries to pass it into Zeller. It's tipped and a foul called. I believe that's on. Yeah, it's going to be on Shannon Duffy. Reached in to try and steal it away. So she picks up another, and that's going to bring us to our media timeout with 4:10 to go. Utah State feeling it. 45-29 here in the 3rd quarter. We're going to cut out to a quick break. Come back with the rest of 3rd from the Spectrum. Welcome on back. Utah State leading the Nevada Wolfpack 45-29 after 2.5 quarters. 4:10 to go here in the 3rd, and Utah State shooting very well. 53%, 45 from the three-point line. I mentioned earlier this Nevada team, for whatever reason, it's a peculiar number. This Nevada team really struggles in three-point defense. They rank 349th in the nation. There are 349 teams in the nation. So they're dead last in three-point defense, allowing opponents to shoot 39.7, and Utah State shooting 45 today. Inbound for Nevada right off the bat, goes into Briggs. Briggs puts up a shot and is fouled, so she'll head to the free throw line. Good inbound play there to get a quick shot and draw the foul. Foul going to go against Taylor Franson of Utah State. And so Tanae Briggs with a couple of shots coming up. Briggs, a transfer from the United Tribes Technical College, played her freshman season there. She started half the games last season for them. And her first shot is no good. Junior forward from Pryor, Montana. One more coming. 45-29, the Utah State lead. And second shot is good to bring that down to a 15-point deficit. 4:08 to go. Victoria Price at point guard right now. She's working against King. Passes over to Brewster on the left wing. Brewster over to Franson. Franson, the freshman, has it poked away. Steal on Briggs, and then Franson fouls in the process of trying to get it back. But that is going to send Nevada to the free throw line. Both teams in early foul trouble in this quarter. That's Utah State's 5th, and Nevada has 4 of their own. So Briggs, who was just at the line, shot 1 of 2 on her first chance. She's going to have another opportunity. Looks like Cephas is set to check back in for Nevada here, likely after the first shot. Trey Briggs, 5 points, 4 rebounds so far tonight, 17 minutes. First shot is up and good. 45-31 now the score. So Cephas does check in place of Tage Zeller. Zeller checks out, the leading scorer for Nevada so far, 10 points, 5 rebounds, and a couple of assists. She's done it all, and she's going to spend a little bit of time on the bench. Second shot is good as well for Briggs, bringing the lead down to 13. Full court pressure as Victoria Price nearly trapped in the back court, but she somehow gets it across, finds Brewster, and then they're going to be able to reset things now in the front court. Good job by Utah State to break that. Left corner 3, up, no good from Brewster. That probably was a 2, but no good regardless. King in transition, lay in is good. And Nevada on a nice little run here out of the timeout. 45-34, now the score, 11-point game. Price brings it across, 2-on-1, and Bassett lays it in. Utah State broke the full court press and created a nice numbers opportunity there and capitalized on it. 47-34 as now Bassett with 12 points. Sumalong drives up the baseline, has it stolen away. Franson came away with it. And then Price over to West. West, jumper from the elbow, 15-footer is good. 49-34 Utah State. Olivia West now with 5 points tonight. 5 points, couple rebounds, and 3 assists for the sophomore. Back the other way, Nevada has it, top of the arc. King thought about a shot and said she's going to drive in and is fouled by Victoria Price. Good job to create contact there by King, knowing the foul situation. She recognized that a foul would send her to the line, so she draws it, and King will have a couple of shots. King, an 84% free throw shooter, not exactly who you want to be putting there if you're Utah State, and she knocks down the first with ease. Camariah King is a sophomore. She redshirted last season. She was injured after she was injured midway through the season, so she redshirted and then knocks down the second shot as well. But she's the second leading scorer on the team, 10.1 points per game, and second leading passer, 2.6 assists per game. So Utah State, 2:32 to go with the ball, 49-36 lead for the Aggies. Liza gets into the paint, and then it's stolen away. Good job by Timo to get it out of there. Nevada back in transition. Errant pass by King, way over the fingertips of A.J. Cephas. That's going to be another turnover there by the Wolfpack, their 11th of the night. So back to Utah State. The possession will go. Duffsey will inbound. We got basically all 5 Wolfpack though in the backcourt, giving some pressure on Utah State. She gets it into Eliza, breaks through the press, gets it into the front court, passes to Price, Price over to Mason, and then back up top to Eliza to reset it. Eliza, beautiful to Shannon Duffy, who lays it in. That was made possible by Utah State's leading assister, Eliza West. 4.1 assists per game, and she's making it happen here tonight. Eliza West has her 3rd. Nevada's possession now. King up top, passes over to Mo, and another bad pass. That's going to go out of bounds. Not the worst pass, but just off the fingertips of Mo, kind of on both of them there. And just another turnover. If you're Nevada and the coaching staff over there, that's going to be the most frustrating thing that could happen. Unforced errors in a game like this. So it's a 51-36 Utah State lead. We got 1:48 to go in the 3rd quarter, and it's Utah State ball. As Eliza has it, she's going to bring it up to midcourt. A little bit of pressure from Sumulong, but she brings it across, steps up to the 3-point line, goes left, steps back, then passes out to Gear on the left. Gear going to work her way up to the top of the arc, then pass it back out to Price on the right side. 13 on the shot clock. Price has it. Goes to the right side, back up. Gear. Back to Eliza. 7 on the shot clock. Utah State needs to hurry. Eliza steps up, goes right, then left. She's going to drive and is stuffed. What a block there by Teray Briggs. Nevada back the other way quickly. Bergman stops, slows it down. Back up top to Sumulong. Sumulong over to King. King guarded by Price. Price reaches in. King steps back. 15 on the shot clock over to the right wing for Bergman. Bergman back up top to Cephas. Cephas over to the left. Dumped in to Bergman. Bergman blocked again by Deja Mason, then grabs her board, puts it back up. No good. And then another offensive board put back by Teray Briggs. Gets the bucket for Nevada. 51-38 now the Utah State lead. We got 43 seconds to go. Aggie ball. Eliza works off a screen, passes over to Duffy. Duffy hands it back to Price. Price works in, kicks over right corner for Eliza. Back up top, Gear. Gear on the right wing. Over to Eliza. Eliza shoots from 3. Knocks it down. What a shot, Eliza West. 54-38. We got 18 seconds to go. Everyone on Utah State feeling it tonight. Aggies shooting 6 of 13 from the 3-point line, uncharacteristically high for Utah State. King working, pass into Cephas with 5 seconds. Cephas puts it up off the glass. Utah State with the board. Duffy, they're not going to be able to get another shot off though, and so that's how the quarter will end. And Utah State up 54-38, looking for their 2nd win of conference play, and in a very good position to do so after 3 quarters. Led by Haley Bassett, 12 points on 6 of 7 shooting. 3 rebounds as well for the sophomore. 9 points apiece for Shannon Duffy and Victoria Price. Duffy, along with those 9 points, though, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Duffy already has this season 5 double-doubles, looking for a 6th and may be able to do so. After 3, it's Utah State 54-38 over the Wolfpack of Nevada. We'll be back in just a moment with the 4th quarter. Thanks for tuning in to the broadcast here on Aggie Radio, AggieRadio.com, and the Mountain West Network. Three quarters in the books, 1 left to go. Utah State out to a strong lead, 54-38 over the Nevada Wolfpack. This is a Nevada team that this season is scoring 69.5 points per game, and they're at 38 right now. The Utah State defense has been stifling, holding the Wolfpack to just 28% from the field. And it is Utah State ball as we come out of the timeout. Aggies in possession. Gear on the right wing. Passes it back up top to Price. Over to Olivia on the left side. Gets it into Duffsey. Duffsey on the left elbow. Back out to West. Works off a screen. Shoots it from the left elbow and knocks it down. 15-footer from Olivia, who's now starting to get her numbers up. Utah State lead out to 56-38. Nevada ball. Zeller up top. Shot from King is good. What a three there. And good rotation, good possession from Nevada to keep themselves alive. 56-41, it's a 15-point game. And in the Mountain West, crazy things happen. Price up top, passes over to West on the left wing. Olivia hands it back to Price. 10 on the shot clock, Mason up top. Over to Olivia. Olivia, three, right wing, knocks it down. Utah State cannot miss from three right now. And that's going to extend it back up to 59 on 18-point game. Left wing, Sumulong has it, passes it in. Baseline worked by Zeller, gets a shot from the other side. And Nevada, a couple more points for them. Price back in transition, though, works her way up to the basket. Good defense in the post by Nevada. Creates a missed shot opportunity there. And then a whistle blows the other way. Not sure on whom. They're going to say... oh, it's on Jesse Gear. So Gear picks up the foul. It will stay in Nevada possession. Gear checks out for Utah State. Nevada inbound from the front court coming. Brewster back in for Utah State. Right wing, Zeller has it. Zeller passes it back out up top to King. King guarded by Price, and she hands it back to Sumulong. Sumulong up top, back to King on the right wing, into Zeller. Zeller working against Mason, backs in on the post. Good D by Mason, but they're going to say foul. Got a little bit of the contact there. So that will send Zeller to the free throw line for a couple on the shot. Deja Mason picks up her second foul. And that is the second team foul as well in this quarter. So a couple shots coming for Zeller. Zeller with 12 points. Make that 13 as she knocks down the first. 5 rebounds and 3 assists as well for the senior. One of the real leaders of this team. Has another shot coming. Second shot good as well. So Zeller 4 of 6 from the free throw line today after that. Lead is 59-45. Utah State, we got 8:14 to go. Utah State breaks the press. Price kicks over, right corner, three from Brewster, no good. Utah State finally misses a three, but the offensive board by Deja Mason, who resets it back out up top. And Victoria Price has possession of the ball. Passes over left wing. Brewster works off a screen, shoots a three this time, it's good. Rachel Brewster, they're going to say it was 2. Might have had a foot on the line, so 2, but 61-45, the Utah State lead. And then a whistle blows, another on Deja Mason. Mason getting physical in the paint, so she picks up her third. If you're Utah State, though, that's 3 fouls in just 2.5 minutes here in the fourth quarter, so you got to be careful there. So with the 61-45 advantage, it's going to be Nevada ball. Haley Bassett going to check in place of Deja Mason. Mason heading to the bench with 6 points, 4 assists. I'm sorry, 4 points, 5 rebounds. I was looking at the wrong stat line there for a second. Another whistle blows as Nevada tries to inbound. Didn't see who they called that on, but that's 4 for Utah State now. I believe that was on Haley Bassett. No, it's Rachel Brewster. So Brewster picks up her second. And Utah State already won away from the bonus with 7:45 to go in the fourth quarter. So Nevada this time gets it inbounds without a whistle. They get it into Zeller. Zeller puts it up with the left hand. No good, too much on it. And Duffsey with the board. Duffsey passes over to Olivia. Olivia brings it across midcourt. Beats her defender, gets up to the baseline, turns around, steps back out, and resets to Victoria Price. Shannon Duffsey on double-double watch Now has 8 rebounds, 9 points. Price works her way up, shoots from the right block, and Utah State cannot do any wrong right now. Extending that lead to 63-45, Victoria Price now with 11 points. And then back the other way, a steal. Brewster came away with it and passes it back out to Price. Price up top, over to West on the left wing, thought about a 3. Said she's going to work into the paint, kick it over to the right corner, 3. Duffsey air ball, and rebound gathered in, almost poked back by Brewster. Going to stay in Nevada's possession, though, as they bring it across midcourt. King has it. 6:45 to go here in the fourth. 63-45 to score. King working against Price. Price playing very aggressive, reaches in, almost gets the steal, and then a whistle blows well after she reached in. Not sure if it was on the reach in or if she got contact after, but that's costly, as that will send Nevada to the free throw line. So 6:38 to go in the fourth quarter, and we've already got a bonus situation with every foul Utah State picks up going to result in Nevada free throws. I imagine Nevada will try their very hardest to take advantage of that. King knocks down her first. She's perfect from the line today. 3 of 3, has 1 more, 11 points for the sophomore. Second one no good, but offensive board grab by Zeller. She puts it back up in another offensive board by, this time, Briggs, and then Duffsey comes away with it and then is fouled. Duffsey, I think they're going to credit her with a block, as Briggs tried to go back up, and then Duffsey came down and then was fouled. I believe that's how they record that. So Utah State will take back over. We're seeing a continued full court press by Nevada, not making it easy for Utah State to get it inbounds. They do into Price. Price turns around, turns to the left and brings it across midcourt, breaks the press. Price on the left wing, crosses over, gets up to the baseline, shoots no good. Good defense by Nevada, and then Toby brings it back the other way. Toby jacks it up from 3, stopped, put it no good, and the rebound fought for by Zeller, and then a whistle blows. That's going to be foul, I believe, on Zeller, who fought for the board. So we'll go back to Utah State. Second team foul for the Wolfpack. Got 6:10 to go. 63-46 is our score with Utah State in the lead. Brewster checks out for Utah State. And in, not sure who just checked in. But Utah State calls a timeout, leading 63-46 with 6:04 to go in the fourth. We'll cut out to a quick break as well and come back with the remainder of the quarter here on Aggie Radio and AggieRadio.com. Flies it back over to Olivia on the right wing, gets the screen from Duffsey, and then a whistle blows. Foul on Nevada. That's going to get Trey Briggs. So third team foul for Nevada, and that's Briggs' second foul. Nevada has missed their last 4 field goals and hasn't scored in about hasn't made a field goal in about 3 minutes here. So inbound from the front court to Eliza. Eliza over to Price on the left wing. Price double teamed. Gets out of it, pass over to Eliza, right corner 3, open for Olivia, knocks it down, and Utah State extends that lead, 66-46. It's a 20-point game. Nevada back the other way. Mo passes it to Briggs. Briggs over to the left wing for Bergman, and then a whistle blows. Offensive foul on Nevada. No, timeout, I'm sorry. My apologies. So that is a timeout. I'm not sure which side called it. We'll keep it here. But with 5:31 to play, it's Utah State leading 66-46. Now let's not forget that this Nevada team was out in Maui with Utah State a few months ago, as they were out in the Maui Invitational Tournament. So the Aggies saw a little bit of Nevada playing out there. They played the same teams, Each of them played Oregon State. Each of them played Montana State. Utah State, I mean, obviously they both lost to Oregon State. That's a top 25 team. They really had their way with each of these teams. But then the game against Montana State, I should say, Utah State lost that game somewhat badly. It was really an ugly game. Aggies lost 64-52. And then Nevada, when they played Montana State, really dominated the game 67-53. Of course, transitive property doesn't always carry over in sports, and that's not how it works. I'm just trying to show the Utah State fans tuned in that this is not a bad Nevada team. This is not the Nevada team last season that went 11-19 and 5-13. She's the leading scorer on the season with 14.7 points per game, but has 13 tonight. 2 rebounds, 3 assists for Olivia as well. Bassett has 12 points, Price with 11, and Duffy with 9 points, 9 rebounds. Well on her way to another double-double. Inbound from Nevada. They got 8 on the shot clock. Sumulong passes it up top. Bergman over to the right wing for Mo, and shot clock expires before the 3, though the 3 was missed anyway by Bergman. So that's a turnover by Nevada, and Utah State going to get it from the backcourt. 14 turnovers now for the Wolfpack after that. 14 for Utah State as well. So Utah State takes back over, brings it into the front court as Eliza passes over to Price on the left side. Price back over to the right side for Olivia. Olivia working against Sumulong, passes up top to Eliza. 14 on the shot clock. Eliza double team, then breaks out of it, kicks it up. Right wing 3 from Olivia West is good. Olivia West can't miss from 3. She is now 4 of 6 from the three-point line. 16 points for the sophomore, and Utah State leads by 23 points. Mo's pass tipped and back to Utah State possession as she tried to get it to Briggs. Utah State takes back over, back the other way. Price lays it in left side. Utah State up by 25 points. 4:24 to go. The most dominant game, no question, for Utah State so far this season. They're feeling it 56% from the field, 50% from 3. Mo is fouled as she works her way in. Great job to finish and get the bucket. I think that's going to be an and 1 here. And the foul going to go against Victoria Price. Mo just got up towards the free throw line, kind of falling forward, shot, knocked it down with the contact. So, and 1 for T. Mo. Mo, the senior guard from California, knocks down the shot. Kind of rolled in, looked like it was going to fall out, then fell. She's averaging 8.9 points per game, 3 rebounds. And then a quick bucket as Utah State breaks the press, gets it up to Bassett, and she just lays it in for the easiest couple points of the night. Utah State leading 73-49. We got 4 minutes to go in this one. Jones, the senior, passes, and then the whistle blows. Not sure what it was. I went out of bounds, and I think they're going to say it was just off Utah State, so a simple call there. Nevada will keep possession. Jones inbounds to Mo. T-Mo with 3 points. Gets over to the left wing, steps back, gets up to the top of the arc. Gonna go up to the right elbow, poked away. Victoria Price tries to get the foul and then tries to get the steal and then foul called on Price. Reached in, poked it up in the air. Mo tried to come back down with it, and Price got a little bit of contact, knocked Mo to the floor. And so that's gonna be free throws as, again, bonus situation for Utah State. So T-Mo back at the free throw line, just went 1 of 1 on her trip after the and 1. Knocks down the first here. This season she's a 70% free throw shooter. Leads the team in steals and assists per game. So assists per game 3.3 and 25 steals this season. And she knocks down the second as well. So 3 of 3 from the free throw line for T-Mo. 4 points. Sorry, make that 5 points. A lot of full court pressure again by Nevada. Utah State breaks it though. Price kicks over right wing 3. Olivia West, this time too much, but offensive board. Bassett tips it over to Duffy. Duffy turns around, puts it up over Cephas and knocks it down. 75-51 Utah State, 3:23 to go. Mo hands it off over to Jones. Jones tries to pass it back to Mo and it's stolen away, but then Utah State can't hold on to it. Price got her hand, tipped it a little too far forward, though, into the backcourt, and then Nevada takes back over, and then a whistle blows, and this is going to be a foul, I believe, on Eliza West. which will send Nevada back to the free throw line yet again. This time it's Ashley Jones going for her trip to the line. Jones making her first free throws of the game. She's not got a single point. She started the game, but she's only played 5 minutes, interestingly enough. And makes her first bucket, her first free throw, and that's her first point of the game. For Utah State, Laura Dalton checking in, and Haley Bassett checking out. So the freshman going to get an opportunity here in the closing minutes of the game. Second shot for Jones coming. She's knocked down the second as well. Jones, the senior guard from Sacramento, California, hits 2 of 2. Full court pressure again. Utah State breaks through it. Liza hands it over to Dalton. Dalton on the left side. Dalton hands it back to Eliza. Got 2:59 to go. Liza almost turns it over into the backcourt. Somehow kept it, though. Back to Olivia. Would have been a mental error there. 13 on the shot clock. Liza over to Olivia, left wing. She's going to step up, get over, pass it over to the right wing for Price. 7 on the shot clock. Price back up top to Olivia. Olivia, long three, NBA range, no good. Dalton grabs the offensive board, though, and Utah State has another opportunity. Dalton trapped in the corner and timeout called by Coach Finkbeiner to get her out of the situation. Good job by Laura Dalton, the freshman, coming in and getting the offensive board for another opportunity by Utah State. 2:36 to go. Utah State leading 75-53. We'll cut out for just a quick break here. I believe it's a 30-second timeout, so we'll be back really quickly here from the Spectrum. Utah State ball after the timeout. Aggies leading 75-53 with 2.5 minutes to go in this game. Aggies on their way to the second conference win of the season, and about 2.5 minutes away from doing so, and then another timeout called. As looks like Shannon Duffsey was trying to get it in bounds. They didn't want the 5-second call, so Coach Finkbeiner wisely calls another timeout. We'll keep it here this time. 2:36 to go, and again it's 75-53. Last season, Utah State started the Mountain West play 1-4. I talked about this a lot at the beginning of the broadcast because I think it's significant, and Coach Finkbeiner in our pregame interview said something along very similar lines. Last season, Utah State started out 1-4 in conference play. This season, 1-4 in conference play. Last year, though, at this point of the year is when they had a massive turnaround. They beat Boise State. They beat Colorado State in back-to-back games. 2 of the biggest wins of the season, right back-to-back at about this point in the season, and wound up 8-8 in conference play. He said he's talked about the team about that, really tried to get it in their heads that this season is not lost. You're 1-4, but you can easily make something out of this, and a big win today over Nevada is going to be a big part of that. So Utah State has it back in after the timeout. We got 12 on the shot clock. Olivia up top passes to Eliza. Eliza going to bring it back to the logo. Double teamed and then fouled by Timo. And so that is the 4th team foul by Nevada. Still safe from the bonus, though, so Utah State will just inbound it after that. We got 2:14 to go, and now a fresh shot clock for the Aggies, though. Lindsey Jensen checks in. Olivia West going to check out. The leading scorer for Utah State in today's game so far, 16 points for Olivia, 3 assists and 2 rebounds, and she's going to see the bench. Looks like Taylor Franson set to check in as well, and Shannon Duffsey checks out. Duffsey heading to the bench with 11 points, 9 rebounds. May not be able to get that double-double, though. She's going to head to the bench right before we check back in. So 2:14 to go. Franson to inbound. Franson gets it into Eliza. Eliza has a clear path to the basket, takes it, puts it up. No good on the lay-in, though. And Nevada comes down with the board. Timo grabs it, brings it back across midcourt. Kicks it over right side, and then a pass intercepted. Well, it's kind of a bad pass, long for Briggs, and then Taylor Franson comes away with it, and Utah State forces another turnover there by Nevada. Nevada now with 16 turnovers. Price passes up top to Jensen. Jensen over to West on the left wing, over to Franson in the left corner. Franson trapped a little bit, passes up top to Eliza. 9 on the shot clock. Eliza working, gets Shumalong. Goes right then left, free throw line, passes out to Jensen. Jensen steps in, passes it to Eliza. Jumper, no good. Offensive board by Price, puts it right back up. Victoria Price earns a couple there. 15 points for Victoria. 3 assists as well. 1:17 to go, 77-53, the Utah State lead. Dearth has it. She passes up top to Sumalong. Sumalong steps in a few feet. Jumper, no good. Liza with the rebound, passes to Jensen. Jensen in transition, gonna lay it in for a couple. 79-53, under a minute to go. Lindsey Jensen grabs her first points of the game, the local player from Smithfield, Utah, on the board. We got 47 seconds to go. Mo passes to Briggs. Briggs over to the right wing for Sumalong. Sumalong gonna work off a screen, then kick it over to the left side for Jones. Jones works off a screen, shoots from 3, knocks it down. Not sure if it was a 2 or 3, but she got it. 79 to score. They're gonna say that was a 2, I believe. So Utah State hold this thing. There's about 5-6 seconds between shot and game clock, but Utah State gonna pick up an enormous win over Nevada. Their second conference win of the season. Liza has it up top. She passes into Jensen. Beautiful cut by Jensen. Pass was nice, but Jensen couldn't finish. Nevada going to bring it back. We got 5 seconds to go. Imagine they'll put up a shot. Sumalong goes up, left baseline, lays it in, and hits it. But that's how it's going to end here in Logan. 79-55, Utah State. What a win for Utah State. What an all-around performance. Everything was clicking for the Aggies. They shot 55%, 45 from 3. Just every aspect of the game for the Aggies was fantastic. 21 assists. This is a team that's averaging somewhere around 11. They're one of the worst teams in the nation at passing the ball so far this season, but 21 assists for Utah State. I have to circle that number. I think that's the biggest one by far. Leading the way, Olivia West, 16 points. Price with 15. We're going to have an interview here with, I believe, Coach Finkbeiner in just a moment as he's working his way over here. But, again, Utah State picks up their second conference win of the season. Coach Finkbeiner here to join us. Thank you so much for coming over. Big win. What a performance by the team.
You're right, Jaden. It was a big win. Anytime we've had a season like ours where the game is in balance more times than not in the fourth quarter, and we just kind of tighten up and struggle. It's nice to play well for 4 quarters and follow the game plan, and we had a lot of respect for Nevada that came in with a winning record. So it was a very good win for the Aggies.
Coach, 21 assists tonight by Utah State. How are they able to get the ball around so much and create those open opportunities? I mean, what was it about the game plan tonight that created that?
We've been really focused on execution and trying to cut turnovers down. But still, even tonight, Jaden, I know when we watch the tape, we're going to just be amazed on how many layups we missed and how many turnovers we threw away. But I think it also shows you how well we executed defensively and how well we did execute offensively in our game plan. And so there's such a fine balance. There's so many plates to spin, in a team sport, especially basketball, how fluid it is. And, it's possible on a given night to fail in 1 or 2 areas and still win the game and win it big like we did today. So we need this win. We need another win here soon, and just kind of get the feel as we head into February and on into March.
Well, you talked before the game about this is the point of the season last year that things really turned around, and a big win to do so. Congrats, Coach.
Well, thanks. We look at double-figure scores. It's all over the map. Everybody had a chance to play. It's a good emotional win for us. Thanks, Jaden.
Thanks for your time.
Okay.
Congrats. It's Coach Jerry Finkbeiner, the head coach of Utah State, kind enough to join us. He always has a little more hop in his step and is a little more happy on his way over here after a big win like that, and just deserves. This Utah State team deserves all the credit in the world. Big win for the program. We're going to cut out to a break. We're going to have a player hopefully joining us here for an interview in just a moment. But for those of you listening on Mountain West Network, I believe we're going to cut out. If you're listening on Aggie Radio, we'll hopefully have another player here in a moment. You can catch that on AggieRadio.com as well. Final score from Logan, 79-57. Utah State. We'll be back in just a moment here on Aggie Radio and AggieRadio.com. All right, welcome back. Utah State final score in this one, 79-57 over the Nevada Wolfpack. Utah State picking up their second win of the season in conference play. We have joining us now Olivia West. Olivia leading the way for Utah State so far this season in points per game, but picks up 16 points tonight, couple rebounds, 3 assists. Olivia, just tell me about the team's performance tonight.
I think that haven't been performing to our potential throughout the season. And we've just been lacking something, and I think we found that tonight. Everyone contributed. Like if you look at the stats, there were so many people on the board with scoring, rebounds, assists. Like I think everyone got on the court, and it just shows that like we've been working hard as a team, and the results haven't been coming, but like we've been working hard, and they will come. Like once we start executing what coach is trying to tell us to do.
Olivia, I think the most impressive stat from tonight: 21 assists for Utah State. Of course, you had a few of your own, 3 for you, but it seems like the team just really distributed the ball well, got it around. How are you able to create so many opportunities tonight?
Yeah, well, I think that coach's main things right now have been rebounds and turnovers. We need to beat the other team in rebounds and limit our turnovers, and I think we did that tonight, and I think that's what created the assists. We had so many fast break opportunities where we were able to just dish it to the layup, and that's like what created so many assists, I think.
Thanks for the time, Olivia.
No
Congrats
worries.
on a great game. Good win.
Thank you.
So that was Olivia West, 16 points for the sophomore tonight. 2 rebounds, 3 assists. Good to have her joining us. It's always good to see a Utah State win. 79-57. It's just been such a tough season for the Aggies. Been so up and down all year. Obviously the record not great. 4-13 on the season. Now you're 2-3 in Mountain West play though, and that's the record that you need to look at if you're the Aggies. That's the one that matters. And going forward, you've got to be telling yourself, last season we started out 1-4, we turned things around. This season now you're 2-4, and you've got a good opportunity to do so again. Closing things out, let's look at the final stats from the game. Utah State shot 55%, 45% from three-point line. That was 9 of 20. Just, this team has kind of struggled all season long at knocking down the three, but thanks to the passing, thanks to the separation on offense, they were able to get some really good looks and connect on them. Utah State turned the ball over 14 times, 16 for Nevada, though. 9 turnovers in the first half of the Aggies, so they really cleaned it up moving forward, only 5 in the second half. In the rebounding category, Nevada actually had the edge there. 37 rebounds for the Wolfpack, 33 for Utah State. A lot of offensive boards, 14 for Nevada. Utah State, again, and I keep emphasizing this number, 21 assists for the Aggies, 8 for Nevada, and then another big number of fast break points, 16 fast break points for Utah State. Leading scorers, again, Olivia West, who just joined us, 16 points. Haley Bassett at 14, Victoria Price with 15, and then you had 9 assists from Eliza West. That is just, what a number there. 9 assists, 6 points for Eliza. For Nevada, Zeller had 14, King with 11, 9.9 rebound night for Briggs, and that's your team leaders for the Wolfpack. Again, Utah State moves to 2-4 in Mountain West play, big win over Nevada. Utah State will be back at it here in just a few more days. They're back at it Wednesday at home against Boise State. 2 straight home games for the first time in a long time for Utah State, and a good Boise State team rolling into town. That'll be Wednesday night, 7 o'clock p.m., January 17th, here on Aggie Radio. That game will only be broadcast over the online at AggieRadio.com. Won't be over the air, so make sure to tune in online for that one. AggieRadio.com and Mountain West Network will have that as well. Closing things out, Utah State, 79-57 win over Nevada. Big win for the Aggies. Thanks for joining us here on Aggie Radio and AggieRadio.com. I'm Jaden Johnson. With the play-by-play, we'll have every game this season on Aggie Radio. Thanks for joining us, and as always, go Aggies.